Hey YouTube, Courtney here from Heart and Soul Creations, and I am here with a blood splatter resin tutorial. As you can see, I've already gotten started. These ones are actually finished, but I do have another mold that I'm going to show you my technique on. Let me set my paintbrush down. This is very, very messy, so be forewarned that you will get paint on your molds. So if you don't want your molds to get messy, I personally don't care, and it, excuse me, it does wipe off pretty well, but as long as it doesn't affect my other pieces, then it really doesn't bother me. I can actually get acrylic paint off of most of my plastic molds by using masking tape. So once it's completely dry, it'll either just pick off or rub off or whatever. It's not that difficult to get off of them. So anyway, these are the ones that I've already done. And the glare is making it kind of hard to see. The bottom one I'm not crazy about, but the top one, I do really like the way that one came out. There you go. You can see a little better from the side. So these pieces I'm not adding images or anything to, obviously. They're just going to be completely blood splatter. It's going to be the focal point of the piece. They're going to get little bats. Well, this one's going to get a little bat added to the front of it, and it's going to be made into a brooch for a custom order. Oh, I cut my finger! No, I'm just kidding. So anyway, I have my paint splatter box here that I do all my blood splattering on top of. I don't have any paper or anything underneath because my carpet is already pretty oh, hi toes. My carpet is pretty much already wrecked. So if we do ever move or anything, we're just probably going to replace it. But anyway, stop rambling, Courtney. We are going to go ahead and set these to the side, and I am going to take this bangle mold, and since I don't need another resin splattered blood splatter piece, I'm just going to do it in the back side of this and maybe make like a blood splatter coaster. I don't know, whatever. Just for the purpose of the tutorial, we'll use this one. So what I did here was I think I took about maybe 3 to 4 drops of acrylic paint, and I put them into this measuring cup. And then I took a pipette, or you can use a dropper, or just, you know, let your faucet drip. And I put about 15 drops of water in there. Now, if I could change one thing, I would probably put a little bit less water. Although in the thicker parts, it does look very blood-like. But if you can see around the edges here, like right there somewhat, and, you know, like where the paint kind of tapers off a little bit, it's kind of translucent. And when you're doing a blood splatter effect, you don't really want too much translucency because real blood is very thick all the way through. So that is one thing that I would change. Maybe try 10 drops of water and see how that works out, and then just experiment. So like I said again, do not do this if you do not want your molds to have paint on them. If it really bothers you having dirty molds, first of all, you shouldn't be doing resin. No, I'm just kidding. But if it bothers you having dirty molds, then I would not recommend this technique. There is another technique that has a completely different look to it that I will link in the description in the bottom. So I finally figured out, I tried to explain it in my last video, but I could not figure it out for the life of me. If you want to put an image inside of your mold, please excuse my fingernails. They are ratchet right now. I've been cleaning my house all day and I haven't stopped. But if you want to add an image, I recommend pouring a thin layer of resin, adding your image to it, letting that completely cure, and then doing this method exactly the way that I'm going to do it now. And then, you know, obviously pour your back layer and whatever other steps that I'm going to explain henceforth. So this is what I do. Now, this is only my personal technique. This is the way that I like to do it. I like the way it looks. So you can see this is very watery. Water. Yeah, I say water. I'm a Jersey girl. W-O-O-D-E-R. So, you know, leave a little drop on there. I like to put a couple droplets in first. So I'm trying to do this through my camera by looking, you know, like through my camera. So depending on how big your mold is, depends on whether you know, how many droplets you put. Oh, that's a big one. I like that. I actually tapped the tip of my brush on the mold, so that'll be cute. Okay, so I'm going to take some more, tap it off on the side a little bit, and it's all in the wrist. Just flick your wrist. You're probably going to have to dip it almost every time. Maybe not. Maybe flick it one way. Okay, we'll back up so you can see exactly what I do. And you just flick it. Flick it good. So flick it to the side. Flick it upwards. Flick it diagonalized. That's not a word, but we just made it one. So we're going to go ahead and flip it over and see what we got so far. Not too bad. So I think I actually like, maybe I'll do a couple more because I don't want it to be too much. This would be cute for Halloween to stick out on my end table. So try not to hit your mold like I just did. Okay, that's good. It filled up the area up here that I wanted filled up. So now this is the fun part. I'm going to try and hold my phone with my knees so I can film this next part because I need both of my hands. Now if I drop you, I will pick you right back up. So, okay, it's a little wobbly. But you're going to dip your... Oh, this is nice. I got both of my hands. Check me out, YouTube. So we'll pull this under here a little bit. Tilt this down a little more. Yeah, ghetto tripod. Now, this is what I like to do. After you get all your bigger splatters in here, it's going to get a lot messier. So I like to take my brush. I'm going to peek around my camera here. And give it one of these. Do you see all the smaller little ones that it's creating? And you also get some bigger drops in there too. So I'm going to dip it in here, tap it off a little bit. The more you tap it off, the less bigger drips you'll get, but I kind of really like the effect that they put too. So you don't get really too messy. It's just kind of your one little finger, maybe a little bit on your hand. So it's not too bad, but I like messy crafts. I can't wait till my daughter's old enough so we can just draw on the walls with crayons. Yeah, mommy's bad. I'm a bad girl. So yeah, just flick it, you know, get it up on the edges, up on the sides and everything. If you have a deeper mold like this, maybe turn it around the other way so you can get all the sides. So I'm really loving the way this one's looking. There you go. You can see all the smaller ones. Some of them are kind of hard to see. It's dripping on my hand right now because it's a little thick. But I like that. It'll drip up the sides like that. I think that's really neat because it will be... Actually, you know what? Let's turn it over and kind of see if we can make it do that on the sides. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Huh? What do you think, YouTube? Pretty sexy blood splatter. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more splatters, and we'll come back when I'm finished and show you what it looks like. Not the finished piece, but just when I'm done splattering. Okay, so here it is. I think I've got enough blood in here. It kind of pooled around the outside, and I think I'm actually going to connect that little spot right there so it makes like a ring of blood around the outside and just kind of like pulls it all together like it's pooling around the edges. I did flip it over and I tapped the other side quite a bit, so that way it like ran along the edges. I didn't really need to do that with these pieces because they're not as deep. So you can see it. Can you see it right there? Yeah, you can see it dripping. Oh, I love that. That looks so neat. See if we can get that drop back in there to drip the other way. So yeah, I love that it did that. I think that's really cool. Now this one has a lot of blood in it. Obviously stop whenever you're satisfied, you know, do like 3 or 4 big strips and then do your like little flicky ones. But yeah, this was my second ever resin tutorial and I really hope you enjoyed watching. Comment, rate, and subscribe. Let me know if there's any other videos that you'd like to see resin tutorial wise. And I will see you next time, YouTube. I love you guys. Mwah.